One. And action. We are currently live, and this podcast today, it has absolutely no script. I'm just going to talk about how I left my 9 to 5 6 months ago and what's happened, what I've learned, and also just give you a bit of a breakdown of if you are looking to do it yourself, just from my own approach to it, things that I've learned and things that I want to give you to make whatever you want to dial in on easier. So it doesn't need to be leaving your 9 to 5. It could be going all in with flipping, writing. It could be going all in with sport. Whatever it is that you want to achieve and you want to dial in on, I'm going to break it down in this video. The background we have today, I was planning on filming here in the mountains because obviously it's beautiful, but the mountains are actually on fire at the moment. So if you're wondering, yeah, the mountains are on fire in the back. Now, does it look cool? Yeah, it looks pretty cool, but it actually is kind of sad because these are the mountains I grew up in, but they're calming down a wee bit. So yeah, hopefully they calm down a bit more, but we'll crack into this. So yeah, it's been 6 months since I left, 6 months since I quit, 6 months since I went all in. And where do I start? First of all, the reason I quit in the first place, it was because I always felt like there was so much more. I was very, very comfortable in the 9 to 5, and that's the worst thing, having that comfort. If you asked me to rate my 9 to 5 in my life at the time, I would have said a 6 out of 10. Now, a 6 isn't actually that bad. A 6 is actually pretty decent. So it's hard to leave that life, because if your life is a 3 out of 10, if your life is a 2 out of 10, if your life is shit, you're going to want to leave. You're going to be pushed to leave, and you may have left something in the past. You may have quit a sport. You may have quit a job, and it's because it got so shit that it was shit enough to want to quit. But for me, it wasn't good enough, so I loved it, and it wasn't shit enough, so I hated it and left. So I was just in the middle, and that's the most dangerous part. See, when you're in the middle of something, it's good, but you know it could be so much better. That is dangerous. So I was in that spot. I had launched my business. When I quit, I was about 9 months in. It's almost like a baby. It was like it was growing. Stupid joke. But yeah, so I was 9 months in. I decided to launch my business because of the fact that I knew that there was so much more. I knew I always wanted to do something more. I wanted to put myself out there. I wanted to go online. I wanted to have the freedom. I wanted to have flexibility. So that's why I first launched the business. That's why I first put stuff on social media. Yeah, from a selfish standpoint, to help me. A lot of people won't admit that, but yeah, a lot of the time you get started just to help yourself, because if you want to do something, you just go for it. So I just went for it, and first few months were decent. Into the coaching over summer really took off, and it was at the end of summer where I just had so much going on that I was like, right, I need to make a choice. I need to go all in with something, or else I'm going to have nothing. I'm going to lose everything. And I'm so glad that happened, because I was forced to make a choice. I was forced to either I wasn't really forced. I could have kept going on. I could have had the coaching on the side, which would have been comfortable enough, and then have my big boy income from the 9 to 5. That would have been very, very comfortable, and it was very, very appealing because things were easy. The job wasn't hard. My parents were really, really happy with where I was, and it was a decent job for the age I was. So having to make that choice, what I practically did was I reached out to a bunch of different people. I reached out to mentors. I reached out to people I looked up to. I reached out to people in the coaching industry where I wanted to go, in the online space where I wanted to go full time. I reached out to people within the company I was currently in, and I reflected on what they were doing. I reflected on the life they had, and I reflected on the life I would have if I continued the way I was going, or else the life I would have if I actually backed myself. And it could have went the other way. It could have fucking all failed. It could have all went to nothing, and I could have been seen as the biggest failure ever. But I decided I wanted to take that risk, because I accepted that I'd be okay if I failed, and that's where true confidence comes. True confidence isn't always knowing that you're going to win. True confidence is knowing that you could win. You're going to make it likely that you're going to win. You also could fail, but if you fail, you're going to be okay with that failure. And I realized if I fail, I know that I gave it my all. If I fail, I know that I left nothing in the tank. And at that moment, if I didn't do anything, I was guaranteed to fail, because I was guaranteed to never see any progress in where I wanted to go. Taking the risk, I could feel so much harder, but I knew I was going to give it my absolute all. So if I did fail it, I would at least know that I gave it everything. So yeah, after reaching out to a lot of people told me to stay. A lot of people told me to continue doing what I was doing, because I was in a very, very good position. Other people online said, yeah, why not go all in? And I didn't really get the clarity that I wanted. And right now, if you're about to make a choice on something, you're probably looking clarity. You're probably looking someone to answer your question for you, but you are not going to get that. You have to make that decision yourself. I can't make you make that decision. No mother, father, mentor, person that you want to be like will ever make you make that decision. The only person that you have complete control over is you. So you need to realize, yes, people will give advice, people will give you action steps, people will guide you, but it will always be you. It will always be you that guarantees the outcome. So yeah, I didn't get the clarity that I wanted, so I just had to make the choice myself. And the moment came to me, it was when I was in my job. I did spreadsheets, and I was sitting at a spreadsheet, and I was just after taking on a few new clients, and I was sitting at the spreadsheet trying to figure it out. And then I just really thought I could not give a flying fuck about this spreadsheet. I could not give a flying fuck about the call that I have in an hour's time to talk about that spreadsheet. I could not give a fuck putting on a front anymore. I could not give a fuck pretending to be someone that I wasn't. I could not give a fuck about that anymore. And all I wanted to do was just work on my business. All I wanted to do was work on my dream. All I wanted to do was help my clients, to make content, to do what I wanted. I wanted to do that. It wasn't a need, because we only need food, we only need water, we only need shelter. This was a big want, and it's okay to want things. I really, sorry, mind the wind. Hopefully it's not blurry. I think my mic is covered, but that's why I'm sitting like this, so I can cover the mic. But yeah, it was a massive want, and that's okay. You might want something really bad. I didn't want supercars. I didn't want a massive house. I didn't want to flip it and go live in Dubai. All I wanted was just to work on my business, because I just enjoyed it for the sake of enjoying it. And I didn't enjoy what I was doing in the 9 to 5. So I looked at that spreadsheet and I said, fuck this. And I sent a message to the person who was overseeing the spreadsheet. I said, something's going on. I'm not going to be able to do this. And he was like, all right. And I had a conversation with my boss, like my high up boss, and I just told her about the situation, and she was actually very reassuring. And she was actually the person, now that I think about it, to really help me make that decision, because I thought she was going to be like, why do you want to do this? Why do you not want to stay in this career? This is a great career. But she basically said that I was shit at my job, and that she can see I had no passion in what I was doing in that job, and that all my passion's in the coaching. And she was right. She was completely right. All she did was tell me she didn't actually tell me I was shit. She said it in the nicest way possible, that she can see the passion. She can see I'm trying to balance everything. But I knew what she was saying, but it only hit me then. And her saying that was near enough like a reflection. It was the answer that I needed. And she said, sure, take a week, think about it, let me know. And yeah, as soon as that happened, I was like, right, this is happening. I'm taking the risk, and I'm leaving. And you're never going to be 100% sure. You're never going to know that it will work out. The stars are never going to align, because you're going to wait for that. You're going to wait for the better time. There's no such thing, brother, sister, whoever's watching this. There is no such thing as the perfect time. Whatever it is you want to go all in on, fucking go all in for it, because life is so short. And I know, cringy influencer tells someone their life is short again. Fuck that, but it's true. Life is so fucking short. So it doesn't have to be leaving your job. Sorry, there's a fucking mosquito or some shite around me. It doesn't have to be leaving your job. It can be going all in with your fitness. It could be asking that girl or that guy out. It can be asking for a promotion at work. It can be starting a conversation with someone that you see in work and you want to be friends with, or someone in the gym, or it can be just going for whatever, just being a go-getter, following your passion, following your dream, whatever it is. Life is too short to wait. Life is too short to wait until I get my degree. Life is too short to wait until I saved an extra £500. Life is too short to wait for that. So whatever it is you want to do, if you want to travel, if you want to buy a fucking dog, if you want to have a kid, I don't know, whatever stage of life that you're currently in, just go for it. Because I speak from experience, I went for it and it's the best thing I ever done. And I look back to that old version of me, the version of me that went all in, the version of me that decided that it was time to dial in. And I thank him every single day for doing that. I thank that old version of me for actually taking that risk. So do you want the version of you in 6 months' time to look back and say, oh, fuck that person who didn't take that risk. Fuck that person for not doing anything, for doing fuck all, for making me live with regret? Or do you want to look back and be like, thank God I went all in. Thank fuck I actually did it. Because nothing matters. Nothing matters. And sorry, mind the wind. I don't know how you know me or why you've clicked onto this video. If it came up in your YouTube For You page or Spotify, or I might have sent you this podcast. But nothing matters. You may have seen some of the videos I do about putting myself out there, getting out of my comfort zone, out in the world, and like, it just doesn't matter whatever it is you're doing. If you're cold approaching someone, having a conversation, I was out asking strangers for hugs, and people were apologising for not giving me a hug, because nothing matters. You overthink these things in your head. You overthink telling your boss that you don't want to do what you want to do anymore. You overthink asking that girl out or the guy out. You think, oh, the worst case scenario is going to happen. The worst case scenario could happen. But so what? You're going to be okay. You're not going to die. You might get embarrassed. You might look like you got rejected. You might feel like a failure, but you're going to be okay. And that's the only way you learn, that's the only way you adapt, and that's the only way that you grow. And the only way to guarantee that you don't grow isn't by hiding from danger. The only way to guarantee that you don't grow is by doing nothing and sitting in complacency, sitting in comfort. Comfort is not good. It is not good. We are in a world of abundance. We are in a world where if you want to eat as much as you can, you can. More people die from obesity-related deaths than starvation-related deaths. And that says a whole lot. We live in a world of so much comfort. We live in a world where you can't get bored. Boredom isn't even a thing anymore. You cannot get bored. You can scroll. You have mass amounts of entertainment, things to make you laugh, things to make you sad, things to make you happy, different videos that you can just scroll by every single day like a slot machine and get instant dopamine straight to your head. Back in the olden days, to get dopamine, to get serotonin, to actually feel good, you would have to do something hard. You would have to exercise. You would have to solve a really important problem. You would have to help someone and you would get that boost of serotonin. But now, straight away, you get instant dopamine straight to your brain from doing nothing, from lying down in your bed, scrolling. You get an instant boost. And you get it one after another, after another, after another. And you don't remember anything you scrolled by. Before you know it, 2 hours have passed. And then before you know it, after that, 6 months have passed, a year has passed. You look back, you're still fat as fuck, you're still unfit as fuck, you're still broke as fuck, and you're still not doing what you want to do. Time flies by. And it's not even about time anymore. It's not even about money. It's not about any of that. It's about your attention. The greatest currency is your attention. That is the only thing we are so deprived of at the moment, because there's so much money out there. There's so much, like, you probably do have a decent amount of time. Obviously, you don't know when you're going to die, but the only thing that everyone lacks and is so important is attention. Where you put your attention, your life will go. Your attention is the fucking fuel that will boost where you go. So if you're sitting there lying, scrolling, not training, fucking about, your attention's on nothing, and you're ignoring what you actually want to do, you're going to end up you're going to end up very, very miserable. Because I've been there, and it does lead to a lot of misery. But then the next day you kind of feel okay, because you're looking forward to pints on the weekend, so what? So you make the choice. Do you want the life of being complacent, the life of being okay with being fat? Because you can't be okay with being fat. You can't be okay with being skinny forever. You can't be okay with never reaching your potential, because a lot of people are. And take a look at a lot of people who are in their middle ages now, and it's like they're constantly trying to get in shape. It's like they're constantly trying to start something new, but they never do. Do you want to be one of them people? If so, go for it. I'm probably not the right content creator, fucking whatever you want to call me, influencer. That's a derogatory term now. Don't call me an influencer. But is that what you want to do? If you've watched this far, I don't know how far we are into this video. I don't have a timer on me, but we're at least 10 minutes in. So you've said no to scrolling, you said no to that shit. You've listened to this for 10 minutes, so you probably do know that you want to be better. You probably do know, or no, you definitely do know, if you've reached this far, that you want to improve, that you want to be different, that you don't want to be complacent. So what are you doing that is causing that complacency? What are you ignoring that is causing that complacency? And it's not a case of having to add a bunch of things into your life, having to add in cold showers, meditation, fucking all that shit. You don't have to add all that in. A lot of the time it's just taking things away, because when you take things away, you have a lot more bandwidth and you have a lot more attention, and with that attention you can actually go where you want to go. See it too many times. People want to achieve something and they will start it. They'll make the page for their social media, they'll upload maybe the first video, they'll maybe fucking ask one person out on a date when they're drunk, but they'll never actually keep at it because their attention is so scattered. Whereas if you cut stuff out and then do that stuff, your attention is going to be so much more focused on what it is that actually will move the needle. So I'm not going to tell you to completely cut out video games if you game. I'm not going to tell you to completely cut out Netflix. I'm not going to tell you to completely cut out scrolling. I'm not going to tell you to do that, but I've completely cut it all out, and it has helped me so much in my journey. It has helped me so much go where I've wanted to go. And obviously, am I exactly where I want to be? Of course not. We're always constantly improving, and that's why I'm so excited to get up every day, because I know that, and I know that there's so much more to achieve. There's so much more you can do from dialing in. So I'm fucking buzzing about that. But if I was gaming, if I was scrolling, if I was watching porn, if I was eating junk food, I wouldn't get excited over that, because I have all that cheap dopamine, all that cheap shit to look forward to. That leads to long-term miserableness, if that's even a word, long-term dissatisfaction. Whereas, yeah, now, of course, when I wake up at 6 a.m, do I fucking want to get up at 6 a.m? No. Do I always want to go for the cold shower straight away? No. Do I always want to work the first 5-6 hours of the day? No. Do I always want to say no to junk food? No. I want to eat that shit. But I would way rather prefer the long-term satisfaction when I look back and I realise I've did so much and I've helped so many people and I've made great content. Hopefully you define this as, or at least decent content, good content in my humble opinion. But I want to be able to look back and know that I built something, and know that I've did something, and know that I've achieved something. Even if I fail, even if it all goes to fucking zero, at least I know I gave it my absolute all. And at least I'll be able to say that I gave it my absolute all. At least I can say that I did everything in my power that I could. I cut out the shit that was taking me away from it. And if I still feel out of that, I'll be happy still, because I gave it everything. And that's the way I see it. I haven't really talked too much practically about leaving the 9 to 5. This is more so just how to fucking go for it. How to go for it. Maybe that's a good title for this podcast, YouTube video. How to go for it. Just fucking do it. Take action. Brother, sister, whoever's watching this, take action. Stop thinking about what you want out of life and start doing. Be rebellious. Be different. Be the weirdo. Be the freak. Because soon enough, you will be the person that other people want to be. Trust. And you look back and you will be so happy of your past self. You will be so proud of your past self for making a big decision, a scary decision, a decision out of your comfort zone, but you will be so happy you did it. Because you will know that you gave it your all. It is the year of the Dialed In, and if you're wondering what the fuck I mean by that, you need to get on it, and you need to dial the fuck in. You need to subscribe or follow this podcast, whatever you're watching this on. Follow me on Instagram. Keep up to date with my stories. Give me a text if this has helped, because I actually really like to see if these help, because then I can make more of them, which can help you more. So it kind of helps us both out. Yes, just send me a message on Instagram if it has. And any feedback too, any other things you'd like me to go over, or any questions you have, just fire over there too. I can answer them to you, answer them in the podcast, either or. And rate and review. Please, give it your all. Rate and fucking review. Don't look back with regret. I wish I rated Owen McGinn's podcast or his YouTube channel 5 stars. You can't even rate YouTube channel. I wish I subscribed to Owen McGinn. You don't want to look back with regrets, just fucking get on that. And yeah, jokes aside, stop thinking, start doing. It's the year of the Dialed In. So, am I in this? Subscribe, follow, rate and review. Yours truly, Dialed In McGinn.